In this video, we will discuss the problem hungry pizza lovers. The problem says that Domino's Pizza has hungry customers which are waiting in a queue, right? And each order is placed by a customer is identified by unique order ID, right? So every order that is placed, the first order that will be placed will have order ID 1, the second order will have order ID 2, the third order will have order ID 3. Apart from this, there is XI and YI also given to you, right? So what is XI? XI is the time at which the customer places the order, and YI is the total time that is taken for this order to complete, right? So let's try and understand this in terms of a better manner. So if there is an ith order, right? So if the ith order is there, so with respect to ith order, you will have array of I0, right? And you will also have array of I1, right? Array of I1. Now what does this indicate? So array of I0 indicates that the time at which the order is placed, right? Time at which order is placed, right? And array of I1 is what? Time taken for order to complete, right? This is the time taken for the order to get completed. Now what is the total time? What is the total time? Total time is nothing but what? Total time is nothing but array of I0, right? That is at the time at which I order the I give the current order, right? And array of I1 addition, because the total time taken, right? Because the total time taken will be nothing but the time at which I am placing the order and the number of minutes that it takes to complete the order, right? So the overall time like at which I will receive this order is array of I0 plus array of I1, right? And now what does this problem say? The problem says that I have to tell that which orders I'll be receiving first of all, right? So let's try and quickly have a sample example. Let's say if the sample given to us is 4,1, right? Then you have been given 6,2. Then you have been given 7,6. As I said, the time at which you place the order and the number of minutes that it takes for completing the order, right? So 8,1 and 1,3, right? So let's suppose that this is the order number 1, right? Since this is a zero based indexing, so if I is equal to 0 is this, so the order number will be 1, that is nothing but I plus 1, right? So because you want to have the orders in 1, 2, 3 order, right? Order number 2, order number 3, order number 4, order number 5, right? What is the total time taken for the first order? It is 5. The total time taken for the second order is 6 plus 2, that is 8. Total time taken for the third order is 13. Total time taken for the fourth order is nothing but 9. Total time taken for the fifth order is nothing but 4. Now which order is taking the minimum time, right? So you will see that the order that is taking the minimum time is nothing but the order number 5, right? Because it is taking 4 minutes. Then the next order which is taking lesser time is order number 1. It is taking 5 minutes. Then the next order which is taking lesser time is order number 2. It is taking 8 minutes. Then the next order which is taking lesser time is order number 4. It is taking 9 minutes. Then the next order which is taking the least time is order number 3. That is taking 30 minutes, right? So the order in which I'll be delivering is 5, 1, 2, 4 and 3, right? You can see 5, 1, 2, 4 and 3, right? But the question says that it can also happen that suppose a case like this is there in front of you. Suppose the case is that 2, 3 is there. Then suppose 1, 1 is there, and then the next order, let's say, is 3, 2, right? So this is order number 1, order number 2, order number 3. So this order will take 5 minutes. This order will take how many minutes? 2 minutes. This order will take 5 minutes. So first of all, you will consider this order, right? You will consider the order number 2, right? Order number 2 because it is taking the minimum time, right? So you'll say that okay, I'll consider the first of all the order number 2. Then there is a conflict because the first order is also taking 5 minutes. Second order is also taking 5 minutes. So you'll consider that order which will have lesser order ID. So you'll consider order number 1 and then order number 3, right? And suppose if all the orders had the same ID, in that case, like all the orders had same time, let's say 1, 1, 1, 1 and 1, 1. So in that case, you have order number 1, order number 2, order number 3. So all of them are having the same time, right? So that's why what you will say is 1, 2, 3, because you will consider in terms of ascending order of order ID, right? So that's what you need to do. So basically, first of all, you will be required to do what? You will required to have a vector int answer, right? You will have a vector int answer that will store nothing but the final answer, the order IDs, right? In which you will be passing it. Apart from this, you need to have vector of pairs, right? Vector of int pairs. Let's say I mark it as order because there will be n orders, and with respect to every order, what are the things that you need to store? With respect to every order, you need to store the total time, right? With respect to every order, you need to store the total time, right? You need to store nothing but the total time first of all, and then you also need to have the you also need to have what? You also need to have the order ID along with it, right? So with respect to the total time, you need to have the order ID. So you will be sorting out according to the total time first of all, and then if there is a conflict between the total time, if the total time is same for multiple orders, then you'll sort according to the lesser order ID, right? So that's why you will take a pair, right? So what I'll do is I'll say that for int I starts from 0, I is lesser than n, I plus plus, right? I'll iterate through the orders and I'll say that total sum, that is int, let's say sum or the total time, int total time. Total time is what? Total time is equal to nothing but array of I0, right? Array of I0 plus array of I1, right, array of I0 plus array of I1, that will be the total time that will be taken. And what I'll say is I need to push it, right, I need to store it in terms of the ith order. So I'll say that ith order 5 will be nothing but, it will have the total time as the first parameter, that is nothing but total underscore time. Apart from this, it also needs to have the order id. Order id is nothing but, if we take a 1 base indexing, then order id will be I plus 1, right? So considering that I is starting from 0, so first order will be 1, so that's why I plus 1, right? And then what I'll do is I'll simply say that I need to sort it. So I'll say that I need to sort the order, so I'll say that sort order dot begin, right? I'll say that let's sort the orders in terms of ascending order of, first of all, the time, ascending order of total time taken. If the total time taken is same in multiple orders, then I'll sort it according to the order id, right? That is the second parameter. So that is something that I'll be doing after this part is done, right? So I'll simply iterate through the orders, right? So I'll iterate through all the n orders. I start from 0, I is less than n, I plus plus, right? This order array of pairs I'll be iterating through, and order array in the order of I, like for the ith order, right? For all the ith order, I dot second gives me what? I dot second gives me nothing but the order id, right? And in the end, I only want to return the order id, in which I'll be giving them the final, I need to return in the end, I only need to return this thing, that is the order id, in which I'll be sending back the orders, right? So that's why what I'll do is I'll say that answer dot pushback order id or ith order dot second, right? Order of I dot second, that will store the order in which I'll be returning the order according to the time, and if the time is same for multiple orders, then I'll return it according to the minimum order id, right? Let's try and compile this and see if it works on the samples. It seems to work on the samples. We are getting the same output. Let's try and submit it and see if it works on all the test cases or not. So you can see that this problem got accepted, right? And for doing this particular problem, if you will observe, so the time complexity overall for doing this particular problem, the time complexity will be nothing but order of n log n overall, because we are sorting, right? We are sorting this. Like apart from this, we run order of n for storing the orders, first of all in the order pair, an order of n another time for storing the orders in the final answer, right? So overall time complexity will be order of n log n, because we were using the sorting, and that is taking the most time. Apart from this, the space complexity will also be order of n for this particular approach. Thank you for watching this video.